My name is Greg Kwiat, and I want to help you learn everything you need to know to buy a diamond. The Kwiat family has over 100 years of experience in diamonds. Through 4 generations, our family has passed down its legacy of fine craftsmanship in diamond cutting and jewelry creation. And we want to share our expertise with you so that you can make informed decisions. As you begin your process of purchasing a diamond, it is important to learn about the way that diamond quality is evaluated and graded. The basic framework for evaluating quality in a diamond is called the 4 C's. These are carat weight, color, clarity, and cut. A diamond's beauty, rarity, and value are determined primarily by these 4 metrics, along with several other important parameters. Carat refers to the weight of the diamond on a scale, which is generally a measure of its size. Color describes the relative degree of yellow tint that is present within the diamond. Clarity describes the presence of small imperfections within the diamond's crystal structure. Cut describes how well the angles, proportions, and facets of the diamond come together to create brilliance and beauty. The grading scales used for each of these metrics were originally developed by the GIA, the Gemological Institute of America, the leading grading research and educational institution in the world. While most diamond professionals can independently evaluate the color and clarity of a diamond, the official grades are given by a diamond grading laboratory. At Kwiat, all of our diamonds over a ½ carat are accompanied by a GIA natural diamond grading report, and you should make sure that your purchase is always accompanied by that GIA report. As you go through the process of purchasing a diamond, you will see that it is all about the trade-offs. Trade-offs between size, budget, color, and clarity. It's balancing these trade-offs to find the perfect diamond for you that is the whole purpose of the process. Some decisions make sense, like moving up or down in color or clarity. Other decisions should never be made, like trading down on the quality of the cut. At Kwiat, every diamond we work with must meet our strict standards for excellence, which we've developed over more than a century. We work with the finest rough diamond crystals with high color and clarity grades, and we cut them with precision and care to unlock the maximum brilliance from within. All of our diamonds are beautifully cut, so when you make choices amongst the trade-offs, you can trust that any diamond you select will be a wonderful choice. In this segment, we're going to talk about carat weight. Of the 4 C's, carat weight is the easiest to understand because it is simply the weight of a diamond on a scale. Diamonds are measured in carats, and carats equal 1/5 of a gram. The larger the carat weight of a diamond, the larger it will look. For example, a 1-carat diamond looks larger than a ½ carat diamond, and a 2-carat diamond looks larger than a 1-carat. All else equal, the larger the carat weight of the diamond, the higher the diamond's value and the more rare it is. It's also important to understand that carat weight is not exactly the same thing as the size appearance of a diamond. Other things will impact how large a diamond looks and whether it shows its weight. For example, the shape of that stone or how well that diamond is cut. Differences of carat weight in the tenths or hundredths of a carat range are not dramatically important to changing the size appearance of a diamond. And yet, 2 diamonds that are exactly the same carat weight may have a different size appearance. So why is that? Well, one reason is that diamond shapes that are elongated, like ovals, ashokas, pear shapes, or marquise shapes, tend to appear visually larger than shapes that are round or square. Square shapes, for example Asher cuts, while very beautiful, often look relatively small for their carat weight as compared to other shapes. Another critically important reason that diamonds of the same carat weight may look different sizes is that diamonds that are cut deeper will carry more weight on the underside or the depth of the diamond, where it adds to the carat weight but not to the visual size appearance. This is one of the reasons that cut is the most important of the 4 C's. A well-cut diamond will look the proper size for its carat weight and will not have any weight in hidden areas. At Kwiat, any diamond of any carat weight must show its size properly. The weight must be in the right place. And because of the fine quality of our cut, all of our diamonds will appear bigger and brighter than anyone else's. Remember that a diamond of higher carat weight is only worth paying for if it adds to the beauty and the visual size appearance of the diamond itself. In this segment, we're going to talk about diamond color. In diamonds, when we talk about color, we're talking about the grading scale that looks at the color or absence of color within the crystal structure of the diamond. Even though diamonds appear clear to our eye, they do contain slight tints of color, most often yellow and sometimes brown. Diamond color is graded on a scale originally developed by the GIA and used across the entire diamond industry worldwide. The scale begins at the letter D, which represents the absence of any color and is the very best grade a diamond can receive. The scale continues alphabetically all the way through Z, which represents the most color in the body color of a diamond. All else equal, the higher the color grade of a diamond, the higher its value and the more rare it is. The color grading scale is grouped into ranges. D, E, F is called the colorless range. G, H, I, and J is called the near colorless range. K, L, M is called faint yellow. N through R is very light yellow, and S through Z is light yellow. If you've ever seen a diamond that is brighter or more attractively yellow in color, that is actually graded on a different scale that is beyond the letter Z. Differences between one color grade and the next are very subtle and not obvious to the untrained eye. Especially when diamonds are placed in jewelry, the color becomes that much harder to discern. When diamonds are set in jewelry, they're set face up, which can mask some of the internal body color that might be present. Some people are very sensitive to color and others don't see differences at all. Often, casual observers will describe a higher colored diamond as seeming brighter or whiter. And while that's not technically correct, this is an accurate understanding of what a higher colored diamond can look like to the eye. Certain shapes show color more readily. For example, shapes like radiance or oval or cushion may show some yellow tint at higher grades than shapes like rounds, emerald cuts, and antique style cuts. Selecting the right color for your diamond is a balance between the color, the clarity, the target diamond size, and the target budget. In general, you want to select a diamond that appears white when mounted and generally doesn't show a lot of color. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to the highest color grade to select a diamond that is very beautiful. At Kwiat, all of our diamonds are colorless or near colorless, and because of the high quality of our cut, our diamonds will appear whiter than their GIA grade. In this segment, we're going to talk about diamond clarity. In diamonds, clarity refers to the presence of naturally occurring clarity characteristics within the crystal structure of the diamond, sometimes called inclusions or imperfections. Nearly all of the world's diamonds have some kind of inclusion or imperfection. That in and of itself is not a problem. What the clarity scale is describing is how pronounced or visible that clarity characteristic is under 10 times magnification, and how impactful it is on the diamond's overall beauty. The more difficult any inclusions are to see, the higher the clarity grade of the diamond, and the more obvious the inclusions are, the lower the clarity grade. Diamond clarity is graded on a scale originally developed by the GIA and used across the entire diamond industry worldwide. All else equal, the higher the clarity grade of a diamond, the more rare it is and the more valuable. The scale begins with the grade of flawless, which represents the absence of any inclusions at all within or on the surface of a diamond. This is the very best clarity grade a diamond can receive. The clarity grade of internally flawless is very similar, describing diamonds that have no internal inclusions but may have some minor details of polish on the surface of the stone. Typically, diamonds that are internally flawless can be further polished to become flawless. The next group is the VVS range, which stands for very, very slightly included. There is a VVS 1 grade and a VVS 2 grade, where the 1 is the higher, better grade. Typically, in VVS diamonds, it is extremely difficult to see any inclusions, even under 10 times magnification. Then there is the VS range, which stands for very slightly included. Again, there is a VS 1 and a VS 2 grade, with the 1 representing the higher or better grade. In the VS range, inclusions are typically visible under 10 times magnification, but they are not visible when the diamond is viewed with the unaided or naked eye. The next section is the SI1 range, which stands for slightly included, followed by the SI2 range. Diamonds in the SI1 grading range will typically have inclusions that are apparent under 10 times magnification. The better SI1 diamonds will still be clean to the naked eye with no visible inclusions, but not all SI1 diamonds are created equal, and many diamonds in the SI1 clarity range will have inclusions that are readily visible even without magnification. Diamonds in the SI2 grading range will have inclusions that are very apparent under 10 times magnification. The vast majority of SI2 diamonds will not be clean to the naked eye, although the very best of the SI2 grading range may still be clean. Diamonds in the I, or included grading range, will have inclusions that are readily apparent to the naked eye. In the I range, the imperfections in the diamond often impede the brilliance and the beauty of the stone. Selecting the right clarity grade for your diamond is a balance between the clarity grade, the color, the diamond size, and of course the target budget. In general, you want to select a diamond that appears clean to the eye and does not show any visible, obvious flaws. While high clarity diamonds are very rare, it's not necessary to move all the way up the clarity scale to select a beautiful diamond. The sweet spot of the range is often between VS1 and SI1. Diamonds in the VS1 to 2 clarity range are almost always going to be clean to the naked eye and beautiful clarity choices. The high end of the SI1 grading range can also be clean to the eye and therefore makes a beautiful choice that can be very effective in balancing budget, size, and the other options. And while they are very rare, every once in a while an SI2 diamond is clean to the eye and can be a very attractive choice from a budget perspective. At Kwiat, our diamonds range from flawless to SI2 and will always appear clean to the naked eye. And because of the superior quality of our cut, our diamonds will mask their internal inclusions, making them virtually impossible to see when mounted in a piece of jewelry. In this segment, we're going to talk about diamond cut, which is the most important of the 4 C's. A diamond that is beautifully cut is bright and brilliant, no matter the color and clarity. And a diamond that is poorly cut is dull and lifeless and never worth the money. Cut is not the same thing as diamond shape. Shape refers to the general outline and cutting style of a diamond, for example, round, oval, pear shape, or emerald cut. Cut refers to the angles, the proportions, and the faceting of the diamond, all of the details that work together to determine how well the diamond captures light and reflects that light back to your eye. Of the 4 C's, the cut is the one that is determined by the artistry of the diamond cutter. It takes skill and experience to properly cut a diamond. The beauty and majesty of diamonds really comes from the unique and extraordinary way that they reflect and disperse light. There's no other gemstone quite like it. To simplify the concept, let's take a look at how diamonds reflect light. When light hits a diamond that is properly cut, that light will bounce around inside the stone and then reflect back to your eye, creating all of that miraculous brilliance, fire, and scintillation. But if a diamond is poorly cut, the light does not return to the eye, but is instead absorbed or leaked out. This could be because the diamond is too deep, too shallow, poorly faceted, or any of the other many ways that diamonds can be cut incorrectly. When it comes to understanding and grading the quality of a diamond's cut, it is critical to understand that the GIA only assigns a cut grade to round, brilliant diamonds. All of the other shapes, which we call fancy shapes, do not receive a cut grade from the GIA. For round, brilliant diamonds, the GIA cut grading scale includes the following grades: excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. With round diamonds, the GIA spent more than a decade researching the impact of cut on light performance. Because of the 360-degree symmetry of the circle and the generally accepted parameters for cutting a fine round diamond, they were able to come up with a cut grading system. When it comes to fancy shapes, there's way too much nuance and detail for each individual shape, and so there has not yet been a way to capture the cut quality of any other shape in a single GIA grade. This does not mean that cut is not important for fancy shaped diamonds. In fact, it's just the opposite. For all shapes, cut is the most important factor in determining whether a diamond is beautiful and valuable. And that is what makes the process of buying a diamond so hard. Diamond cut, the one thing I just told you was the most important element of all, is also the one quality parameter that doesn't have a single objective grade to capture it. If you've ever wondered why it's important to work with someone of integrity that you trust, this is it. You must have proper guidance through the process to ensure the fine quality of the diamond that you select. For more than a century, the Kwiat family has strongly believed the quality of diamond cut is the one element that should never be compromised. A beautifully cut diamond is brilliant, lively, and special in any color and clarity. And a poorly cut diamond, even a D flawless, it's just an ugly rock. Kwiat has the strictest standards in the world for diamond cut, for our round diamonds and for our fancy shapes. We cut, inventory, and sell only the most beautifully cut stones. All of our round diamonds are excellent cut grade, along with excellent polish and excellent symmetry, referred in the diamond trade as triple excellent. But our standards are even stricter than that. We cut all of our diamonds to a very specific subset of the GIA's excellent cut grading range, while they will appear bigger and brighter. Applying this exacting set of parameters, we call our round diamonds our Kwiat Tiara cut. So while all Kwiat diamonds receive the GIA's excellent cut grade, not all excellent cut grades earn the Kwiat Tiara logo. We have similarly rigorous cut standards for our fancy shapes. Our emerald cuts must be bright and lively, our ovals must show minimal to no bow tie effect, and our cushions must have beautiful and classic brilliance while also showing their proper size. With more than 100 years of diamond cutting experience, we make certain that every diamond in every shape is cut to be the most beautiful that it can be. In this segment, we're going to talk about fluorescence in diamonds. Fluorescence is not one of the 4 C's, but it is still a very important characteristic to understand because it can have a significant impact on the beauty and the value of a diamond. So what is it exactly? Fluorescence is an effect seen in some diamonds when they are exposed to long-wave ultraviolet lights, similar to the black lights you might find in a nightclub or a college dorm room. Under this light, diamonds with fluorescence will emit a glow, most often a blue color, although other colors are possible as well. The GIA grades the intensity of a diamond's fluorescence, and that grade appears on the GIA Natural Diamond Grading Report. The scale that the GIA uses is none, which means that there is no fluorescence exhibited under UV light, faint, which means that the fluorescence exhibited is present but minimal, medium, strong, and very strong, all of which indicate a significant presence of fluorescence in increasing intensity. With grades of medium, strong, and very strong, the GIA report will also list the fluorescence color, which again is almost always blue. So what's the big deal about fluorescence? And why is it so important that you understand it? Under most typical lighting conditions, a diamond fluorescence up to the grade of medium intensity is not really detectable to the naked eye. However, with diamonds of strong or very strong fluorescence, they may have an oily or milky appearance, even in regular daylight. It might look like the diamond is dirty and needs to be wiped clean, but you can't do it because it's an internal characteristic. This milky appearance significantly detracts from the beauty of the diamond, making it both less desirable and much less valuable. And value is another critical element impacted by fluorescence. Diamonds with medium, strong, or very strong fluorescence have significantly less value and do not hold value well over time. Over the last 30 years, the trade has increasingly penalized the value of fluorescent stones when they're graded as medium, strong, and very strong, and that trend is very likely to continue into the future. At Kwiat, all of our GIA graded diamonds will have only none or faint fluorescence. And when you're buying a diamond, our strong advice is to consider only diamonds with a fluorescence grade of either none or faint. In this segment, we're going to speak about polish and symmetry in diamonds. Diamond polish and symmetry are 2 quality characteristics that receive a grade on the GIA Natural Diamond Grading Report. Polish and symmetry are final detailing elements of the diamond, known as the finish. Polish is the overall condition of a diamond's facet surfaces, or how well the diamond was polished during the cutting process. Symmetry refers to the exactness of the shape and placement of the diamond's facets. The GIA uses the same grading scale that it uses for the cut grade for round brilliant diamonds: excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. As you learn about polish and symmetry, it's important to understand what these two characteristics do and do not represent. Together, polish and symmetry reveal a standard of care taken in the cutting process, and therefore continue to be important measures of a diamond's overall quality. But the polish and symmetry grades are not the same as a cut grade, and they do not adequately capture the overall cut quality of a diamond, especially for fancy-shaped diamonds. For round brilliant shapes, the industry standard for a fine quality diamond is called a triple excellent. This refers to a round diamond that has excellent cut, excellent polish, and excellent symmetry. All of Kwiat's round brilliant diamonds are triple excellent, and we call these diamonds that are cut to our incredibly strict parameters our Kwiat tiara diamonds. For fancy shapes, there is significantly more nuance in the cutting style and details. And while it may be nice to see excellent grade for polish or symmetry, the truth is it's not critical for a fancy shaped diamond to have excellent and polish, excellent symmetry in order for it to be beautifully cut. It is most important to trust the guidance of an expert who will understand what makes for fine quality in a fancy shape.